What is up, YouTube? We're live. Live. Got a drink? You guys want to see my drink of choice? Water. Let's get this phone going so we can read the comments easier without squinting. There we go. Turn that down so we don't echo. Good deal, man, good deal. Do some shout outs. No, I am drinking, Thomas. I'm drinking a bit of water here. Might have a beer later. But we'll do some shout outs here. Jeffrey Like is the first one, number 1. Trucker Seals is number 2. Big Rig Radio Network, oh yeah. Ralph Lodo, Troy, you're also number 2. Salty Pirate, you say you're first. All right. Gary, Thomas Wilson, GNC Family Trucking, Clyde, Nittany Lion. I don't expect a big crowd today. Billy Willie, what's up? I am enjoying this beautiful day outside. And it's like perfect temperature, not a cloud in the sky. Looking at my 2 pickups, or my 2 trucks, not my 2 pickups. But, and maybe later I'll sit here and have a beer. Stewman shit, what's up? Next gen, great day. It is. Or is it hard to hear, Snorler? Is it hard to hear me? We're trying to not be too loud, but it might be you. It might be you, Salty. See how loud I am. It might be you, Salty. See how loud I am. It seems like it's fine. Salty. See how loud. Seems like it's all right. But nothing witty is in the house. So we got to hang out with Kevin and Ollie and his wife and the other dogs. Most people don't know that Kevin and the wife, they have 3 dogs total. 2 little rat dogs. I mean chihuahuas. So cute little things. They invited us over for lunch, and so we went over there and we had lunch, and it was cool. Where's Red Chicken? He's sitting in the truck, gardening. So that was pretty fun. But my wife has to work tonight, or she's at work now, so we had to cut it short. I mowed last week, Jeff. Looking thin because of it. Trying. I'm still flirting with that 255 area. But the lawn is growing pretty fast. But no, I mowed it last week. Did the mowing and the weeding. So I believe that if the lawn needed to be mowed, and I was live on YouTube, that probably wouldn't go over too well. But it was fun hanging out with Kevin. A good distraction from all the COVID stuff, right? You know, it's nice to socialize, and nice to get out of the house. We talk business and strategies and what we're seeing and what we're going through, you know, that kind of thing. The Hool loves Red Chicken. I will, the Hool. I'll see if Red Chicken wants to make a video just for you, Mr. Hool. Don't chickens eat grass? Yeah, but not enough. You plowed snow last night, didn't you, Lion? Yeah. You think that being April would be over with, though. Steve, enjoy your home time. I'm camping for a couple of weeks, headed to lake and go fishing. Take care, my friend. Thomas, thank you very much. Enjoy your camping time. I don't plan on leaving out till Tuesday or Wednesday. There's a few things I have to get taken care of at home. Then we'll be back at it. Hopefully last week was the rates bottoming out. But maybe not. So who knows? I just had to help a young girl with the car overheating because she didn't know where to put the fluids. Parents really, really, really need to teach their children the basics if they're going to let them drive. Salty Pirate, I knew a gal. My roommate was dating her. And she literally blew her engine because she didn't know to put oil in it. So, and that was 20 years ago. So I think that's kind of a problem. Got the grill going, so enjoy your home time. You know, that's actually not a bad idea. We could get the grill going. And it's perfect weather for that, right? So could get the grill. I don't even know if I have any charcoal. I've been hauling it all week. I don't know if I even have any. Let's see. Uber had a $2 205 mile load today, St. Louis, Indianapolis. Couldn't believe it. Mike already had a load. Yeah, that's probably something that somebody dropped off. So I'm hoping the rates will come up because, you know, if enough people parked, that might have changed things a little bit. And I think maybe the brokers realize we've reached a breaking point, you know. 63 in Nevada on 80. Good deal. Eddie Drotar, what's up? Barbecue is keto friendly unless you mess things up. Well, it depends on the sauce there, the whole. But I worked it yesterday in a snow squall in April during a pandemic. WTF, right? World's coming to an end, right? And you know, the government's talking about opening things up slowly, and maybe that'll bring back some confidence. Maybe that'll bring up some demand, and you know, got approved through International for another truck. Good deal, Eddie. Are you going to take advantage of the 6-month thing? Now, let me ask you this. Okay, Eddie, maybe you can answer it, maybe not. But I've got a friend that was looking into talking to International, and so I'm kind of wondering if the 6-month deal, like if like there were certain terms that apply, like you needed a certain amount down or you had to have a certain credit score. Usually when you have a deal like that, they'll only do that if it's like some extraordinary fight. Like, for example, I got 0 down on my trailer, right? The interest that I'm paying on my trailer is pretty stupid. It's really stupid. I might as well have charged it to a credit card. But I needed it, and I had depleted most of my reserves over my clutch, and but it works. My payments are fairly low, so I'm kind of wondering on that 6-month deal that International's offering, if like there's some like something to that. I'll be right back, guys. I wanted to grab a hat. The sun's coming out. So, hey, Next Gen, check it out. Check out my hat. Next Gen gave me this hat. That was the first thing he did, man. He gave me this hat. Michiganders are going to bring the arms out. I wouldn't mind. International told me I could get 10 of those, $25,000 no money down. It's 90 days, no payments, which goes through June 31st. I know that Summit in Springfield was offering 6 months no payments if you bought a truck. So models 2016 to 17 International Cummins are now restocked. G-Star asks why Jeff didn't do any spot market updates. Well, it would have been a really short video, G-Star. It would have been like, hey, rates suck. Go home. The Hool, what does it say? It says 18 to Life Trucking Club. So, yeah, I kept them busy. We got 2 settlements yesterday. 4K down payment match plus no payments for 90 days. That was good. Yeah, Jeff has been helping us with loads. He's been sending us all the emails that brokers send the authority, and you know, some of the stuff's in my area. Most of it was not in my area, but and then Jeff had called me for loads that were coming out of St. Louis because we had a guy up there and was helping him with, like what to look for and all that. I kind of wish I was in St. Louis yesterday because there was several good loads I could have taken out of there that were actually pretty decent rates. But yeah, Jeff's getting a lot of people needing help. Because we're all kind of, I'm not gonna say struggling. I mean, some of us are doing good, but it's going to be a struggle out here for a minute. It really is. And even if you have relationships with brokers, it's a challenge because a lot of this is the shippers and some is the brokers. So So Jeff's been pretty busy, right? Jeff is your motivational boss while you're running this OTR thing. Is Ahmed. The joke here is that the pandemic, the pollution is low enough that the death metal band have returned to the forests of Scandinavia. Is that what? That's pretty good. Iowa to Cali to Wisconsin, says Mike Miller. I've never driven well, I did drive that 9700 or whatever. I did drive one of those in CDL school. But I've never driven a ProStar. I've been in a ProStar. And those new LTs, I don't know anything about them. I don't know how Internationals handle. I know Pale Rider like his. But I did see an ad for a blacked out one that looked kind of cool, brand new, but it's all in the warranty. It's all in the warranty, right? Jeff says his ProStar has lots of storage. In the end, it's about performance and comfort. You're driving LT 2028. Michigan sent extra IFTA stickers. Yeah, 2 sent it on this week. There you go. You got 2 people brave enough to go to the spot market this week. 2028 plus plus. Do you, or 2018? Okay. Do you like it, Mike? Do you like that LT? And it's the stunted growth version. LOL. Yep. Yeah, you got the micro machine, right? Finally, I'm in my bed, lazy. Saturday, I'll go for a walk at park, though. If I buy a truck, it won't be until the near end of June, so the first payment wouldn't be until September. There you go. Yeah, Moonflea and Swift Own operator from Indiana. Well, good deal. Yep, Moonflea's getting ready to join our ranks. And that's good. That's good. But, oh, I've had a little bit of anxiety this week, to be honest with you. I watched a YouTube video that really kind of disturbed me. But I'm calm now. There's some things I need to catch up before I go back out, but I'll probably be back out Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, here's what pissed me off, right? There was a load that picked up Friday, Springfield to Carthage, Missouri. And I've been on it, and I was outbid by $20. And then there was nothing to the criteria that I needed. So went home, and I kid you not, I literally walked in the door. Mind you, I've already dropped my trailer. I've already, I'm ready to settle in, and another Springfield to Carthage popped up. Yep, we're good. I'm just on the phone. You too. And I could have picked it up, and it didn't deliver till Monday, but that would have been like free easy money for Monday. So kind of irked me. So I could have picked it up in Springfield and then delivered it Monday morning in Carthage, paying, I don't know, about $15 a mile. So, and that's I mean, it's only 78 miles, but still. But it kind of took me out, because at that point I would have had to go back, get my trailer, and it would have been stupid. So the reopen thing is good news, but then it's scary. I also love the empty freeway like Chicago. What video, Jeff? I can send you a link. That's about all I'm going to do. I'm not going to talk about it here. I'll send you a link after this live feed. I think just the talk of reopening, I think, is going to be helpful with everybody's mental aspect of this. Because there is a lot of anxiety going on. There's a lot of people kind of freaking out. I went by Academy Sports the other day, or yesterday, and Academy Sports is not considered essential, but they do have firearms. So if you're going to Academy, that's the only thing you're doing, right? And so it was weird, because you show up, and I had to wait in line, and they had to escort you to the firearms section, and then escort you out. They hovered over you. You can't just go in there and browse. And there were some pretty stressed out people in there. And I kind of felt stressed out afterwards. And all I was doing was buying a mag loader and some tri-fire caps. That's all I was doing. And it was kind of weird, man. I kind of got a weird vibe out of the whole deal. So, drivers have to go somewhere, so they wanted LTC for the added help. Like trucking court. Yep. Apocalypse fajitas were good. LOL is good seeing the wife and break quarantine. Yep. Yeah, we broke the law. Yeah, went and hung out with Kevin and his wife and the dogs. Kevin's a good cook, guys. Kevin's a good cook, so let that be known. Almost lazy day here, just making the kids breakfast, lunch, and buying takeout for dinner. Barely had the motivation to cut the grass on the well. I'm thinking about getting takeout for tonight, but I don't know. Hervaquero had a good, or somebody had a good plan of maybe grilling, so I don't know. Either way, it's going to take a trip to the store, so I'm like, no. But I figure I'd do my weekend live. I might get the guitar out later, you know, maybe. Haven't decided. Maybe I'll restring the 7-string tonight. Maybe I'll bust that out. Or maybe I just don't care. But it was good to, Kevin and I talked shop quite a bit. We watched James Best's live feed. Earlier parts of it, we missed parts of it, but I got a phone call from a friend that kind of gave me the cliff notes of what went down. And I look for a live feed tomorrow from James Best. And then bigrigceo, he was live this morning. He did a small live feed talking about what we all talk about, right? Guitar fun tonight. Are you coming over, Kevin? Yeah, Eddie was deleted. I heard why it was deleted, so I believe it was one of his better ones. So wife said go. Cool. Yeah, we'll fire the big 2-amp up there, Kevin. And we'll make some noise. Donnie Luke says Eddie Alsay Baca was involved. You know, I've drank a few beers on YouTube, but I know that, a little bit of history with me. I used to like my rum, and about a year and a half ago, I made a promise that I wouldn't drink the heavy stuff. I still drink beer on occasion. And there was a time when I was doing Periscope, right? I don't know if you guys know what Periscope is. Periscope was Twitter's live feed version. And at that time, it was separate. Now they're kind of like the same thing. And at most, you might get 8 or 9 people. When they signed in, you could see who signed in. You could see who was watching you. And I remember I'd had a lot of rum. And the wife and I went to Waffle House, and I went live on Periscope. And that was probably not my best, most shining moment. But I definitely probably would have gone live on YouTube, at that time. So it's but I learned that I shouldn't probably do that. And because I tended to have to apologize a lot when I was drinking rum the next day. So I don't put myself in that kind of position at all. But I will have a beer on occasion, and I'll only do it on YouTube. But I just, sometimes we say and do things that we regret, and it's hard to take back once it's on the interwebs, right? And I'll say vodka as well. Okay. I love a few drinks, but never drank myself sober. Spectre is here. Snot Rocket. Yep, we all remember the Snot Rocket story, Jeff. But no, we had a good time with Kevin. We hung out and talked shop a little bit. And that's what you do. You got to surround yourself with good people that know how to survive extreme situations. Now, granted, we're at a situation that we didn't account for. Like, it's a whole new level of extreme. But at the same time, principles are still the same. They just seem a little bit more overwhelming this time because of the civil liberties that we've lost, such as going out, gatherings. A lot of major aspects of our lives have been disrupted or to some degree ended. The last thing that's going to come back are events where we gather. Now, Springfield did go from saying that there's no graduating ceremony at all to we might think about it in September, for graduates. And my son was graduating this year. But people are going to be real nervous, We can still survive if costs are low. That's true. Spectre says lower to snore. Moonflea is listening, but got to roll. Are you going to go live and show us the food? What food? Oh, that I decided to go? Probably not, Food Mooch. I mean, I try not to eat and live YouTube at the same time. There's some YouTubers that do that. They'll sit down and order their meal, and then they'll eat while doing their live feed. I'm not that guy. I'm just not. I don't know. I'll make a pot of coffee. That's about it. Taekwondo trainer. So here's the thing. What is it? I figure we got 8 weeks or sooner before rates start to rise, but I think we've hit rock bottom, but I think we're going to dwell here for a little bit. I think we're going to stay down here for a minute. But eventually people are going to get fed up. Now, I know people are still getting really good rates, but I think the key is booking ahead and hauling a product that hasn't been affected by the market. I think that's the key thing. You've heard of a lot of Japanese ladies making a decent living eating on live feeds. That's about right. So I just downloaded the Cash App that everybody's pushing, right? I just downloaded that. So if I posted my Cash App and ate, would people pay to see that? Probably not. Probably not. They're look at this a-hole trying to get money for eating in front of us. What's my Cash App? It is There you go, Jeff. Pretty simple. I don't think corona is real because we've admitted that we know little to know nothing about corona. Deaths and heart disease are more of a month. I don't know about you, but every person I've asked, they said they know no corona. Well, Taekwondo trainer, here's the deal. I know people that have gotten sick and have tested positive for it. I know that I have friends with relatives that have passed away from it. However, I do believe that some of the numbers are skewed, but you know, here's the thing, Taekwondo, since you like that term so much, I think that the virus is real, but it's also been used to create a scenario. I've been watching a lot of videos of like what Dr. Fauci said in 2017, what Bill Gates was saying back in 2015, what they've been predicting since 2010. And yeah, because Jeff, I used you as a reference. I used a referral code. And Spectre says his wife's grandmother is finding it now. So it's a real virus. It's a real thing. And what it is, it's a nastier, more contagious version of the flu. Because there's a lot of people that mysteriously had this flu-like illness back in pneumonia back in October, November. And they tested for the flu, but they tested negative. And at that time, they didn't know what they were looking for. So I believe the virus is real. Now, have they taken advantage of this? I think so. But there's a lot of stuff that I've watched. There's a lot of stuff that I've been being told for the last 3 years on the economics of our situation. And it all makes sense. It's like kind of like watching a game unfold and realizing that the strategies for the game that's going on now have been in place for the last 3 or 4 years. You know, think about a Super Bowl level football team. It's not just they got lucky one year. That is something that each football team builds for years and years in advance to come up with the best case or the perfect storm to make it all work. And that's kind of, you know, you don't just build a Super Bowl level team overnight. Well, this is kind of the same thing. The things that we're dealing with now, you know, and you know, you got a war on two fronts, right? You got a war on the virus itself, which is real, and there's no telling if the mask and the gloves and the hand sanitizer, if that's really helping or not. I'm sure it is. But at the same time, you have a lot of our civil liberties being taken away. Now, I understand no sporting events. I understand no gatherings. But some of the stuff, like taking away, like what Michigan's going through, like taking away just going out to your second house if you have it, or a summer college, or going out to go fishing, or just to go for a motorcycle ride, you know. And there's a video, and I'll send it to Jeff, where if you think our measures are extreme, you just see what they're doing in other countries. You know, there are some countries that they will literally arrest you. They will literally publicly, like, cane you. There are countries that force you to have a download, or to download a tracking app on your phone. That's real. And that's something you can see with your own eyes. So whether you believe the virus is real or not, that doesn't matter. I believe the virus is real. I believe that there's really something to be afraid of on that virus. However, I also believe that there's bigger things to be worried about with this whole virus stuff and what the government and everybody has accomplished. I mean, come on, we're literally printing money. Literally printing money to keep us from all just going into a shambles, right? Jeff or Chucky knows people with it. Jeff feels that he had the coronavirus. Yedis McFetus says, that's cool that you're waking up to all of this. Bankrupt hospitals raking in billions from this, says UConn. There's so many. Here's the thing. It's not that I fall into the sheeple category. I mean, but there's only so many things you can control, right? And the only thing you can control is your reaction. We can't control the fact that, you know, we can fight back and tell the government not to let, you know, make us quarantine anymore. Or we can, you know, and that's kind of the whole purpose of the virus is that, you know, this is something that, you know, we're all told that we need to comply for the common good. Whereas if you had to comply with all these rules without the virus, you would have a revolution on your hands, right? But I'm also a realist. And so you've got people in this corner saying this extreme, and you got people in this corner saying this extreme. Well, the answer's in the middle. The answer's in the middle, and we're never going to know the true answer. The 100% down to the core truth. We're never going to know that, ever, right? Just like the 9/11 thing. There's all these conspiracies. There's proof of this, proof of that, but we'll never know 100% of the truth, right? Jeff says, I was sick for 3 weeks, tested negative for the flu 3 times, was in the hospital in January, and they were baffled, right? Okay, maybe it's here, but not as much as they say. Listen, when Trump wanted to help us with $2 trillion stimulus package, the House wanted to put money for abortion and the Green New Deal in it. Right, well, that's the agenda thing I was telling you about. Yeah, cost you only 10 grand, right, Jeff? Ralph says he has it on your phone. Yeah, Ralph Loto had it, right? I do not feel is it a plan, but people are complacent, or too complacent, and most in government see an opportunity on both sides of the political spectrum. Never miss an opportunity to exploit a crisis. Absolutely, UConn. And you see it in advertising. Go watch TV for a minute, right? You see it in advertising. And, you know, take restaurants, for example. You have these 5-star restaurants offering carry-out. How that's kind of ridiculous in my world, because, you know, part of a 5-star restaurant is the ambience, the atmosphere, right? And a lot of places, here's the good, okay? A lot of places have learned how to adapt. A lot of places realize that they don't need their big, expensive office buildings. A lot of restaurants are now have apps and carry out services put in place. You know, where Sonic's been doing it since forever, right? Everybody's turned into Sonic. You know. And these restaurants that rely completely on their ambience and their gimmicks, now you can only judge them for their food. But then we also realize that, wow, we eat out a lot. This has been kind of a hindrance. And, you know, there's so many things to learn from this. So as a person, you should have learned a lot through this. You should have learned a lot about what your government's willing to do. You should have learned a lot about finances. and saving for the rainy day. You should have learned how to be adaptable, adapt and overcome. But guess who else learned? The government now knows our limitations. The government now knows what we're willing to bow down for. The government now knows that, okay, let's see where their breaking point is. And the protests in Michigan and the protests in Ohio and the protests like in Germany and everything is that gauge, right? And so now they know, okay, so we've learned what the breaking point is, and we've learned how to keep it at bay, and we're going to learn how not to get it to that point, right? So the government's learned a lot about us throughout all this, and we've learned a lot about them. And we're all fixing to learn a lot about economics. It is Ryan. I hope Oklahoma's looking the same as it is. Man, it's gorgeous out here today. It will take Orlando, Florida 5 years to open up, and Orlando ain't even the biggest city ever. It will take forever for our great country and economy to get to where it was before this was. Unfortunately, most don't even know their rights and will do whatever the government says what your rights are. GNC family truck, exactly. Someone asked me why Academy was still open. Well, because you cannot close a gun store. So these governors that declared you got to close your gun store were breaking the law. Now, a gun store can voluntarily close if they don't want to be open, but the government can't sit there and say, hey, it's a national crisis, you cannot be open. They can't do that. That's they planted fear, and fear only lasts so long before it turns into anger. Right. So if you notice every press conference, okay, we're going to start. I've called this almost every press conference, right? I said every 2 weeks they're going to push up the date. Okay, on April 1st, they're going to say, well, we're looking at like the middle of April, maybe the end of April. And then the middle of April comes, we're looking at mid-May, maybe. You know, they're keeping it at bay. And then when the when the protests started, that's when they started to go. And I told somebody, I said, okay, these protests are real. What's going to happen next? The government's going to start laying out a plan and telling us the plan of putting things back to normal. And it was the very same day of the protest that the government was like, okay, here's our stages proposed plan that we may or may not start in a month. We're not sure. But hey, there's a plan in place to make you feel warm and fuzzy. So you can spend a little bit of that stimulus check and you can not you don't have to protest now. We get it, right? And I call that too. It's a cluster across the board. It is. So the only thing you can do is control how you react to it. Don't lose your shit. Don't lose it. keep cool. Keep calm. And what is it the rubber duck says? Smooth on the surface and paddle like crazy underneath. That's how you have to be. Don't put yourself on the radar. Don't sit there and make a bunch of noise. But don't sit back idly and hope that things are going to get better. You have to control your situation as much as you can. And I know that's hard. Our line of defense against taxes are people and economy. That's true. Like I said, I watched a video yesterday that really brought some anxiety on me. It really kind of made me go, wow, maybe this is bigger I mean, I know it's a big deal, but maybe this is, yeah, I don't know. It feels dystopian to me. It feels Orwellian to me. 1984. It feels like that. It feels like Fahrenheit 451 ish. You know. You know. And trust no one, right? And to add, staying calm is to study and learn. Exactly. Like, what can I do to make myself and my family self-sufficient so we rely on nobody? What steps can I make to do that? Because you never know. Now let's say that we're at a weakened state, like Taekwondo said, and we get attacked. Number one, a country would have to have some major nuts to attack us on our soil. Because not only are you fighting the army or the military, you're fighting everybody that owns a gun. But will we fight the enemy or will we turn on ourselves? See, a lot of people don't realize during the Revolutionary War, there's a lot of people that took the English side. They took the easy route. Hey, let's help the English. We'll work as spies and we'll help them find what they need to do. Almost out of water. And the ad stink. Oh, I read that. Have you watched Successful Trucking? I don't know if I have or not. Maybe I have. Is that the guy that does the intermodal food mooch? If so, there was a comment he made I didn't like. I wasn't offended by it. It's just, it was something he said that I didn't agree with. But and I even did a video about it, but I kind of delayed it. You're just gonna sit here and drink your White Claws? Man, Ryan, isn't that stuff like Zima reincarnated? I'm just kidding, Ryan. I think I was drinking those seltzers before I did the keto thing. Is the green K paid off, Snowlord? No, it is not. I wish it was. It's getting close. Trying to go as long as I can without having to refinance it. And that's why I haven't called the bank to see if they can defer payments yet. Because my theory is that what if this isn't the worst 3 months, right? Wind's picked up a little bit. But we're getting close. We got about 15,000 left. Man, it kind of doesn't have any flavor. He's not very successful. Company driver telling people how to be successful on offer. RBT play company. Well, that's the problem, Food Mooch, is there's a lot of people out here claiming to be successful that aren't. But I mean, it's just what defines success, right? A lot of people make blanket assumptions too, and I feel that if you want to truly be an inspiration to people, you can't make blanket assumptions. You can't sit there and assume that everybody's doing this wrong or everybody's doing that wrong or nobody knows how to do this, nobody knows how to do that. You can't do this, you can't do that. You know, you absolutely can't do this if you're not set up this way. And I try not to make blanket statements or assumptions, but I've been guilty of that too. We all have. I think part of that, you got to keep your ego in check, you know, because if you are successful, I think that gets to people's heads. I mean, look at rock stars and movie stars and you know, athletes. You know, they're successful, so they create an ego about it. You know, you become narcissistic. You know, I mean, how many times has RBT sat there and bragged about how successful he is, right? You know, but are you truly helping people be successful yourself, or are you just spouting, you know, that you're awesome and nobody else is, right? And I think that if that's the same person, Fumuch, then I believe that's why I was turned off of his videos. I'm still waiting for Canel to get through town so I can share this 2-year-old Zimas with him. Luckily, the situation I got paid off, Cascadia success. Agent Orange. Oh, Poop, you're live. I clicked on it thinking it was a video. What's up, Snore? I'm all right, Agent Orange. I have good friends, so I feel successful. There you go, Next Gen. Because you can be, here's the deal, man. You can be the best businessman. You can be the most successful businessman, have a ton of money in the bank, and you'll survive anything that comes at you, right? What good is it if everybody hates you? Or what good is it if everybody will abandon you when money does you no good? You know, how many of you have friends that would help you in a life or death situation that has nothing to do with finances? Answer that question. So how do you define success? Is it money? Is it freedom? Is it your friendships? You win fights on the internet, you're successful. It's I don't is it possible to win fights on the internet, Yukon? I don't think I've seen one battle won yet on anybody. I mean, if anything, it makes it worse. You got the left and right always fighting. So obviously nobody's changed anybody's minds on that stuff, right? And in the end, it's all internet noise. It's all, as a friend of mine once said, radio static. But we all feel compelled to put our thoughts and our ideology out there, and you know, we gotta give our opinion to the world. This is our voice. This is our soapbox. I don't like this situation I'm in, so I'm gonna get on YouTube and bitch about it. You know, how many people do you see on Facebook and on YouTube griping about brokers, griping about the rates, griping about how we need to take back the trucking industry and all that kind of thing? To me, it's all radio static. To me, it's about how you react to that. You know, if brokers are such an evil, don't use them. If there's a particular shipper that's treating you wrong, don't go there again. You learn once and you move on. If a broker, you know, takes your relationship, throws it out the window in times like this, then you've basically lost a business partner. Move on. It's part of the game. It's part of this game, and some people won't admit that they don't like playing the game. That's what it boils down to. It's like being in the NFL and griping about people tackling you. This is what you signed up for. You signed up to be dealing with shippers and brokers and receivers and lumpers and, you know, long lines and 8-hour unload times. You signed up for that. You know, and if there are aspects of trucking you don't like, guess what? You change those aspects or you minimize them. Hey, I don't like running out certain areas. So I put myself in a situation where I don't have to run those areas unless I get paid really well. Then I can justify it, right? You know, I don't like being told when I have to be home or when I can go home. You know, so I changed that. I couldn't, you know, there are aspects of trucking that I don't like. And so I changed those aspects or minimized them. And that's the key. And that's the beauty of being in business. People are like, well, why are you an operator if you're not making much more than a company driver? Well, because I deal with less BS than you have to. You know, who was it? Salty Pirate was kind of having a little bit of anxiety because he's got a loco in New York. He has no choice. And he's going to deal with a hell of a lot more bullshit going up to New York with all the closings. And if he's going to New York City, then, there's a large percentage of people that are sick up there. And I will not put myself in that situation, but Salty has no choice. And so if Salty wants to change that, and I'm just using, Salty's pretty happy at his company. I'm just saying, if you're in that situation, if you want to change that, then what can I do to make sure that that does not happen again and minimize that? That's what you do. You control the situation. And it's the things out of our control. It's just about how you react. It's static because none of it mattered before the internet. We all took care of what was right in front of us. Exactly, Orion. That's perfect. Worst part of the game for me is sitting in the dock for 7 to 8 hours. Absolutely. So, if you're a company driver, next time you talk to a company, that detention layover becomes real important. Or, go with a company that does a lot of drop and hook. I do know that Schneider had a horrible detention policy, but they had a pretty good layover policy. And so once I did a load where I had to sit at a dock for 6 hours and not get paid for it, then I made sure that I did not do that customer again unless the situation was okay. Like anybody who's ever delivered a Target knows that that's a 7 or 8 hour unload. Live unload. Across the board. I don't care if you're going to Topeka, Tyler, Texas, up there in Wisconsin or Minnesota, wherever that one is, DeKalb, Illinois, it doesn't matter. So what I do is I look at a load, say going from, somewhere, Kansas City to Tyler, Texas, right? And I'll ask the broker, all right, what's your detention policy? And they'll tell me. I'm like, okay. What time's the delivery? 8 o'clock at night? Perfect. Because now I can take that load, drop the trailer, go to a truck stop, bobtail, go to bed. Next morning, they've written down on the bills what time it was done. I tell the broker what time I was done, get paid detention. So I utilize that situation. And that's the beauty. The more control you have over your business, the more you can pull off something like that. You're not at the whim of somebody. And okay, I can't change the fact that Target takes forever to unload, but I can utilize it. I can capitalize on it. And that's the key. I wouldn't go to New York. No way. Don't matter. The truck driver has the truck keys. Drop that trailer in PA, says, welcome back. So that's a matter of mastering the game, right? Risk mitigation is key. And if you find yourself hopping from company to company to company and you find yourself never getting along with your dispatchers, or not making enough to make the truck note because you sit two or 3 days a lot, no matter what company you're at, you have to take a deeper look within yourself. You have to be honest with yourself, and that's really hard to do for a lot of people. I know where my weaknesses are. I know where I lack, where I could be better. And I'm willing to listen to anybody that tells me what my weaknesses are. I don't have the ego at all. Well, you don't know what you're talking about because I'm more successful than you. The only aspect of success that I can say that I'm proud of is that I've been doing this for 6 years as an owner-operator. And that's a fairly long time compared to what the average lease or owner-operator lasts. And I think that how have I done that? Well, number one, I keep my costs low. Number two, I surround myself with good people. Number three, I try to be friendly with everybody. Number four, I'm open to suggestions. Number 5, sometimes I'm willing to go outside of my comfort zone. As I get further along, sometimes my comfort zone's a little bit harder to leave, especially now. But I also have needs at home. I also have other needs that go beyond the trucking business as well. And I've utilized everything to build around that. But surrounding myself with good people, because that's key, I believe. And willing to learn and not being an asshole. Owner-operator working the boards, you are getting access to the loads that are left that the contract carriers aren't covering. If you think it's going to be like shooting fish in a barrel, good luck with that. John says, I love the sounds of birds in the background at your house. Sounds like spring. It is spring. So if you keep the video update is off by a month in title. Oh, it is, isn't it? And I'm kind of an idiot. I'm sorry. No wonder Agent Orange thought it wasn't live. I keep thinking it's March for some reason. I wonder if I can edit that. Let's try that. And I'll probably end up canceling the video. See? See, Mike could have just sat there and laughed at me. But no, he's nice. Man, I'm an idiot. See, I told you guys I'm not the brightest candle. Yeah, thanks for bringing the attention to it, Mike. Jeez. What about you, Mike? You coming through Springfield? Coming through Springfield, man? I can't believe that. Let's see if I can't change that. No, it's not going to let me change it till it renders. Oh, well. Here, let's do this. It is not March. It is April. Dang it. Do that. Let's see if I can pin this comment. Pin message. There we go. Now the message is pinned. So there. There you go. I'm showing you the chat like you guys can't see it. That'll work until until I end the video. Snore didn't bring me some food. I was at TA Springfield last Saturday. Well, anybody who's ever like in Springfield or Stratford, feel free to message me on Facebook. We'll hang out. We'll have well, we can't like go out and get a meal, but we'll at least, you know, get a cup of coffee and hang out outside for a second. I'm not running too far from the house. I'm usually generally home every weekend. Good information, so good to hearing this instead of the hate on brokers and blame game. Heading to Wisconsin and to Wyoming, found a $2 per mile going there, got lucky. Awesome. Oh, you and Jason do really good up in that weird area. I might have to follow you guys this summer. No, Eddie, don't do that. No. Don't get it. No. Wow, jeez. Do not go to APU Center in Stratford. Don't. Absolutely not. Do you guys remember, if you're new to my channel, I had a truck fire. It was because of the APU Center. Do not go there. Here's what you do. I'm going to put this in the comments. Here's where you need to go if you're going to get if you're insisting on getting a used APU. Dale's APU. Go to Dale's APU. It's on the other side of Springfield. It's over there by the Flying J. He will take care of you. Okay? Do not go there. Yeah, set fire at yourself and look, everybody I know, let's take, yeah, Dale's APU. Everybody that knows, yeah, I'm triggered now, thanks. Everybody that knows, there are people that I know that, forget my experience, right? Every person I know that's gotten their APU there, it's gone, it's come back with some issue. I know a person that bought a used tri-pack for $5,000. Within a year, they had another $5,000 into it. So $10,000, you can buy a new one for that. Now, if you want my honest opinion and you got the money, go to Carrier here in MHC Springfield and get one of those. I love my Carrier. Love my Carrier. Years and years of tri-pack use and abuse. I prefer the Carrier. Now, but if you're going to go used, now here's what Dale's APU does. He buys a lot of old Prime APUs. And he puts warranties on them. And he does also the new Dynasis or whatever. He does the new ones as well. The only one he doesn't deal with is Carrier. But he's the one that was able to resurrect my old APU. And he took care of me. I just don't have that truck anymore. If I still had it, I would still be taking it over to Dale's. The other place, APU Center once charged me $75 to change a fuse. Orion says, come to Armour, buy my APU, still in the garage. I'll sell to you for $2,500. You take it somewhere and get it installed yourself. Snow lucky, I have electric APU. It's all Park Smart. So far, so good, especially in wintertime. Now, the other thing you can do is if you absolutely have to go used, well, Thermo King sells used. You know, if you're going to go that route. I'm not sure if Carrier will sell them used too, but you can still go to the dealerships and buy used APUs. But if you're going to, you know, and here's the disadvantage with either Dale's or the APU Center. If you have a warranty issue, you got to come back to Springfield. If you buy your used APU from Thermo King will honor that warranty. Does Prime show the price tag? I don't know. Can you get a warranty on APU? Yes, absolutely. Mine had a 2-year 2,500 hour. Of course, it's long gone by now, but yeah. And you know, it's all about the install too. See, here's the thing, guys. Transland, my old company, they were one of the first kids on the block to put APUs on their truck. And at that time, only Thermo King mechanics could put them on the truck. So they bought all these APUs, put them on used trucks. And so when the trucks needed to be traded in, Transland tried taking the APUs off and putting them on the new trucks that were coming in to save money. Well, that opened a whole new can of worms, because once you remove an APU off of a truck, it's tough to get it back to where it was. on the new truck. And so, like, if I sold this truck tomorrow, if I sold my truck tomorrow, I would definitely spend the extra 10 grand to buy a brand new Carrier for whatever truck I got next. And because moving an APU from one truck to another is not easy to do. It's very labor intensive as well. So, but yeah, it's yeah, you triggered me. You triggered me, Eddie. Anyways, we're over an hour. Let's see. Unfortunately, the APU doesn't add any extra value to a truck, which sucks, OTR, because I would have left it on my 12 Cascadia when I traded in. That Orion's true. That's true. When you go and look at a used truck, they'll sit there and say, "Oh man, look, it's got an APU." You know, and they think that's worth something. But the reality is, when I traded in my Peterbilt, my APU wasn't working anymore. It would run, but it wouldn't run heat, wouldn't run air, wouldn't do anything. And the dealership didn't even care about that. And they do not, like, I had this green truck, I had this looked at to possibly trade it in. I'm so glad I didn't because of what's going down now. But I had thought about trading it in. And he said the APU helps a little bit, but not much. All it is a selling point for them. So, but the way the sales guy told me was like, look, if your turbo's going bad, no one gives a crap about the APU. So it doesn't really add value to the truck. Because, you know, now you've got a second used engine that you have no idea what the history is on it. You have no idea how well it was taken care of. You have no idea who installed it, and you know, like my APU on my Peterbilt that almost killed me. So it sucks because you don't really want to transfer them truck to truck, but at the same time, you want one for your truck. So I suggest whether you get a new truck or used truck, to get a new APU. And if that creates a financial strain, then you need to set up a system to where maybe buy yourself a little bit of time and either get it financed into the deal of the truck, or create a savings account or a loan account that will help you get the APU. You would think it's very valuable resale, but it's not. Now if you're sitting at looking at a row of 20 trucks, it's probably easier to sell the ones that have the APUs. But at the same time, there are people that buy trucks that don't care about fuel mileage, they don't care about idling, and they're not worried about idling the truck because they got this killer warranty, right? And I've been hearing that the new Volvos don't even mind the idling. And these new DPF systems are getting more and more better. And with fuel being as cheap as it is now, there's a lot of people buying trucks that aren't even putting APUs on the trucks at this point. But I definitely love the value of it. And like I said, if I had to buy a new truck tomorrow, first thing it's going to a Carrier to get a new APU on. So. Sergeant Ringo, what's going down? Not much. But anyways, this is a fun chat. We got 50 people in here. Figures I got nothing really more to say. You know, just keep your head up, keep your ear to the ground, and hopefully we'll start getting some of our civil liberties back. I'm definitely preparing like we are. So, that being said, might go live with the guitar later. Maybe, maybe not. I haven't decided. Well, I can't in the bedroom because my wife's working today. She works from home. But we might go out to the garage. And if Kevin comes over, we'll see what happens. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Be safe, be good. And take care of each other because that's all we got. See you.